It was just past midnight when I heard it, the kind of sound that doesn't belong in the stillness of a summer forest. A low, desperate whimper, almost like a child's cry, but too wild, too raw. I froze, standing barefoot on the wooden deck of my cabin, clutching a mug of cold coffee. The sound came again, closer. I set the mug down slowly and stepped off the porch. The moon was high, casting long silver shadows through the trees. Then I saw her, a lynx, full-grown, staggering out of the tree line with blood on her hind leg and her ribs showing through patchy fur. But that wasn't what made my stomach twist. Draped limply from her jaws was a tiny cub. She laid it down on the edge of my deck, turned her tired eyes to me, and limped back into the darkness. I didn't move for a solid minute. I thought I imagined it. But the cub was there, trembling, barely breathing. I dropped to my knees. It wasn't the first time I'd seen a wild animal near my property. Living alone near the edge of elk pine forest, I'd had deer on my lawn, foxes in my shed, even a bear once knocking over my compost. But this was different. This was a cry for help. I wrapped the cub in an old flannel shirt and brought it inside. It was featherlight, breathing in shallow gasps. There was a scab on its side, a bit of dried blood on one ear. I rummaged through my emergency kit for gauze and started cleaning the wound as gently as I could. "Hang in there, little guy," I whispered. "I think your mom just asked me to look after you." I named him Timber. I didn't know if it was a him or her. Didn't matter. The first night, I barely slept. Every few hours I checked to see if he was still breathing. I made a nest out of towels and kept him warm with a heating pad on low. At dawn, I searched online for what to feed a lynx cub. No clear answers, of course, just warnings. But I had goat milk in the fridge, and with a syringe, I got a few drops into him. That was enough for day one. The second night, I saw her again. The mother lynx was crouched under the spruce tree just beyond the deck, watching. She didn't move when I stepped outside. Didn't growl, didn't flinch. Just watched. I held Timber in my arms and stepped closer, cautiously. She rose to her feet, limped toward me, then collapsed 10 feet away. I saw then how bad it was. Her rear leg was mangled, infected, swollen. She was burning up with fever. But still, she didn't threaten me. She just looked from me to the cub. That was all. I ran back inside, grabbed a bowl of water, some raw meat from the freezer, and laid them near her. She didn't touch it. I sat out there for 2 hours, just watching her breathe. By morning, she hadn't moved. I called every animal rescue line I could find, but no one was willing to come for a wild lynx this deep in the woods. Liability, distance, whatever. They told me to stay away from her, that she would die, and I should let nature take its course. I couldn't. I wrapped her in an old tarp and gently dragged her to the shed, kept her in a corner on a bed of hay I'd used for gardening. I fed Timber inside and checked on the mother constantly. She wouldn't eat, but she let me clean the wound. I used up half my antiseptic spray, bought antibiotics from the vet by claiming it was for a stray dog. I named her Mira. I spent the next week living between two worlds, feeding Timber, coaxing Mira to eat, and trying to do my remote work in between. Timber began to gain strength, mewing for food, nipping at my fingers. Mira remained weak, but no longer burning with fever. She'd raise her head when I entered. Once, I caught her staring at me while Timber nuzzled into my chest. There was something in her eyes then, something I'll never forget. It was like recognition. Then came the trouble. A neighbor, Paul, came knocking one afternoon. Said he saw a lynx near my cabin and warned me to call fish and wildlife. He wasn't being a jerk, just concerned. But I knew what that meant. If I reported it, they'd tranquilize her, maybe euthanize. Timber would end up in a zoo or sanctuary. So I lied. Said it was a fox. Paul didn't believe me. That night, I moved Mira. Carried her in a large dog crate to an old root cellar I'd sealed years ago behind the cabin. It was dry, quiet, and cool. I fixed a vent for air, gave her space. Timber followed me everywhere now, like a kitten. He'd curl at my feet, climb onto my bed, even scratch at the fridge when he was hungry. I tried not to get too attached, but it was impossible. Every time he looked at me, I felt something shift inside me. 3 weeks passed. Mira improved. She walked. Limped, but walked. I opened the root cellar and let her out at night, watched her disappear into the trees. She always came back by dawn. Sometimes, I'd wake to see her sitting on the porch, Timber asleep beside her. It became routine, my strange new life. I didn't tell anyone. My phone stayed off more often than not. And then, one rainy morning, she didn't come back. Timber cried for hours. I searched the woods, called out, left meat at the edge of the forest. Nothing. I thought she died. I told myself I should have let her go in the first place. Maybe I interfered with something sacred, something wild that wasn't mine to fix. A week later, in the dead of night, I woke to scratching at the door. Timber bolted toward it, yowling. I opened the door, and there she was. Mira, strong, coat gleaming with rain. And behind her, standing on unsure legs, another cub. My heart nearly stopped. She'd been hiding it. Somewhere deep in the forest, she had another baby. Only when she knew she was strong enough, safe enough, did she come back. She looked at me, blinked once, and turned. Timber followed her without hesitation. I watched them disappear into the trees. That was 2 months ago. Sometimes, in the quiet evenings, I see shadows at the edge of the woods. Hear soft rustles. Once, I found a dead rabbit left on my porch. A gift, maybe, or just coincidence. But I like to think Mira remembers. I still sleep with Timber's flannel nest on the shelf. You see, I saved a lynx once. But I think, in the process, she saved me too.